nerds, this is Pam coming to you from Stationery Nerd. Today we're going to take a look at this Dingbats Wildlife A5 Plus dotted journal. Nope, I didn't get dotted. I got lined. Okay, so we're going to look at this lined A5 Plus journal. So let's start out with what I mean by the word plus. So this is actually the way that they describe it on their website and in the listing for the sales on Amazon. So let's take a look at my spec sheet. This is a full 4-page spreadsheet available on the website at stationarynerd.com/journals, which is where the all of the 30 journal reviews are housed on the website, but you can download this this spreadsheet for your reference as well. So A5 Plus, so it measures 8.46 by 6.3 inches, and it's about a ½ inch wider than true A5. So let's take a look. I've got a Leuchtturm here, so let's compare the size, and you can see here that it is about a finger width too wide and about that much taller. So you can see the difference here. They do call it A5 Plus. So in general, that's probably not a bad thing unless you have a journal cover that fits A5 and you need your journal to be exactly A5. So keep that in mind as you are shopping for a journal. So they do call this the Wildlife series, and it comes in a bunch of different colors, and each different color has a different animal on the front, like a deer or an elephant or a bear. I don't remember all of them, but there's a bunch of different colors, and each one has its own animal. I chose the red one with the kangaroo. So it comes with an elastic band on the back. Now I tend to complain when a journal has a band that's too loose. Well, here I am about to complain when a journal has an elastic band that's too tight. So this is really very very snug. So snug, in fact, can you see that? Be better on the back. It actually leaves an indentation in the back cover of the journal, and it might not be a problem for you. I don't know. Depends on how you like your journal to come to you. If you want it to be pristine and you're the one that screws it up, that's one thing. And then also here at the bottom, it also has that same indentation. So not sure how good that turns out on camera, but just something to be aware of. The inside end papers have the footprint of the animal that's on the front. So here is what a kangaroo footprint looks like. Who knew? And I believe, like when you get the bear, it comes with the bear paw footprint, that type of thing. It does have a pocket on the back, and the pocket has the fabric gusset on the side, so that'll be nice and sturdy. Oh, here's a little catalog. Here we go. So there's a duck, a whale, a bear, a deer, and there's an elephant in here somewhere too. Maybe it's just not listed on this one. But it's nice that they include this little catalog in the back for you so that you can have a reference of what other things are available. So I did get the lined journal because I tend to like lined journals, especially since one of my first journals for bullet journaling was a lined journal. So this is a great option for those of us who like the lined option for our bullet journal. So it does come with one bookmark, and this is a satin bookmark, and it is black to match the elastic, and it also comes with a pen loop. So this pen loop is actually sandwiched in between the cover and the end paper. So there is a little bit of a gap there, and I am afraid that with a little bit of use, this might actually start to wear. I haven't heard of anybody having issues, but I haven't really been paying much attention to that either. But just be aware that that's how that is connected. So the binding on this is very good. It is a sewn binding, and it's in signatures, so when you open it, it opens and lays flat. And the paper on this is, let's take a look at my handy dandy little reference page. So there's 192 pages in this book with 100 GSM paper, which is the weight of the paper, and it comes in cream. And there are 4 different styles of paper. You can get dotted, lined, a square grid, and a blank page. And you may have noticed, but there are no page numbers. It is a little dingbat asterisk at the corner of every one of those pages instead. This is something that people complain about, but I believe that there's a reason for this. So the reason is each of these pages have a micro perforation. I'm not sure, let's see if we can make that focus. Yeah, I think you can see that. But each page is perforated, so you can remove it directly from the notebook without ruining your binding. And it does come off clean. And then when you're left with, you're just left with this small little piece at the center, don't take that out, because this actually helps to keep the integrity of the book intact. Because when you remove a page from a lined or a bound journal that's got signatures in it, each one of these pages has a partner later on in the book. So if you tear out this page from the spine, then you're going to have the other page will most likely fall out. Do that enough times in each signature, and you're going to end up with a signature that's sewn, but there's not enough paper to keep the sewing in place, and then that whole signature is going to end up falling out. So, okay. So let's take a look at the color of the paper. So this is an ivory paper, but it's kind of on the lighter side. So here is just a plain piece of regular copy paper, and you can see the difference in the shade here. It is cream, but it's not so far off. But let's take a look at it compared to a couple of the other notebooks that you might be familiar with. So here we have the Leuchtturm 1917, and you can see that that paper is definitely a little bit less cream, but still in the cream family. And then let's take a look at the Scribbles That Matter, and that is more on the white side. So these are the 3 paper colors that you can compare those to. So that gives you an idea of how the paper compares. Let's take a look at the lines on this. This is a traditional 7mm line spacing, which is in line with what college rule would be referred to on regular loose leaf paper. And let's just count how many lines we have. There's 26 lines down, which great for journaling, not so great if you need to draw out a monthly grid because you're not going to have enough lines for a 31-day month, unless you created an extra line. Nope, even if you just did 2 extra lines, you'd still only end up with 28. So not enough for a full month grid. Just something to keep in mind. You could always turn it sideways and do your lines that way if you needed to. All right, last up is the pen test. Let's take a look at that. I have already written this in the back for you, and we're going to take a look at the pens that I used during this pen test. I'm not going to go through them because there's a lot of them, but you're going to be able to see them written here, and then also I'll include them in the description below so that you can see exactly which pens I used. I did choose 2 highlighters. This is the Sharpie liquid highlighter, so I figured that those were probably the juiciest ones that I had in my stash, so I wanted to include those as well. So let's take a look at the results. So here is a close-up of this pen test on the front side. The paper has a slight coating on it, so there's not any ghosting, or there's not any feathering that I see on any of the pens at all, or even on the highlighter. So let's take a look at the back side and see how it did. Pretty good. The ghosting is minimal. There's just one issue. The Bic 730R, I always have problems with this one because it's super wet, and definitely one that we have issues with. But you can see here that that is ghosting, and then there's a tiny little bleed through there. So just be aware that if you're using a super wet pen, that might be a problem. So anyway, I think that's it for this one. Overall, a very good notebook, well constructed, and I believe that there are also some philanthropic things attached to this. A portion of the sales of the notebook are donated to wildlife preservation activities, so that's also something to take into consideration when you're choosing this notebook. Anyway, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and let me know below if you use this book and how you like it. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.